Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For all you new subscribers, and my name is Tash. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation from Fenty Beauty. If you guys are also sick of Fenty Beauty reviews, then I don't know what you're doing here, but again, you can click off right now. But if you are interested in what I have to say, then please stick around. So I feel like I need to add in a bit of a disclaimer here. If you guys are offended by any slight negativity towards this brand, then you're probably not going to want to watch this video. I've just noticed on a couple of reviews where people have pointed out things that didn't work for them and they've been attacked for them, and I just find that a little bit off-putting sometimes. I understand there's some trust issues within the beauty YouTuber world, but what I will say is, like, you should take everything that a reviewer says with a pinch of salt. That's not to say that you shouldn't trust them, but just remember, something that may work for that YouTuber may not work for you, and vice versa. Something that may not work for them may work brilliantly for you, which is sometimes why it's really good to look at positive and negative reviews, because sometimes someone's negative could be exactly what you're looking for. Personally, I have no reason to be lying to you guys about what I think about this product. I bought it with my own money, so obviously I really want to like it, but I'm going to be telling you exactly how I feel about this product. Just remember that I'm not reviewing Rihanna as a human being. I'm not reviewing Rihanna the pop star. I'm reviewing Rihanna's makeup brand, Fenty Beauty. So please don't feel like anything I say that's slightly negative is a personal attack on Rihanna. I'm just going to be talking about things that did and didn't work for me. Okay, so let's get into price and where you can buy this. This was released just over a week ago on Friday. If you're in the UK, you can purchase it at Harvey Nichols. It's £26. You can also get a primer, which I believe is £24. I didn't get that, but I'll get into that in a minute. One of the things that interested me and many others about the foundation range is that they debuted 40 shades, which is incredible. I have a little quote that I'm going to read out here from Rihanna. She says, foundation is one of those areas in the beauty industry that has a big void for women at extreme ends of the spectrum. There's this middle ground that's covered really well, but then if you're very pale or if you're very dark, then there aren't a lot of options, which I would completely agree with. I think it's completely unacceptable to, one, not include shades for deeper skin tones and people of colour. Ridiculous that people of fair skin tones have a hard time finding foundations as well. What I will say from personal experience though is it's only been the last couple of years that I've been able to go to a drugstore like Superdrug or Boots and pick up a foundation from Maybelline or L'Oreal where it's just the tiniest bit too dark for me, but I can get away with it. I feel like brands are expanding their shade ranges, but I feel like they need to get a move on with it, and I think it's just completely unacceptable, especially when they don't cater for deeper skin tones as well. So Rihanna wanted to make sure that people of all skin tones were covered so that they could all be included in what she created. This shade range is pretty phenomenal. What I will say is I wouldn't advise you to do what I did. I actually ordered this online and then picked it up in store. I ordered the palest shade, which is actually, this is the first, it's too pale for me. I had to like really warm my skin up. So if it's possible and you have a Harvey Nichols near you, I would definitely go down and either get it swatched or see if they have a sample that you can take home. So some people have had problems with the shades drying down a few shades darker. I did notice on the Sephora website that it does say if you're unsure about your shade, then maybe go a shade lighter, because the foundation can dry down darker than when you first put it on. I haven't found that with this particular foundation, but I know other people have experienced that. It's just not something I've personally experienced. Now let me tell you about the three fairest shades. You've got shade 100, which is what I've got here. I wanted to test out the palest shade, and this is for very fair skin with neutral undertones. The next shade up is 110, and that's for very fair skin with cool undertones. And then the next shade is 120, which is for fair skin with neutral undertones. If I was going to purchase another one of these, I'd probably purchase 120 and mix it up a little bit, because I'd worry that 110, even though it's a shade up, would still look too cool on me because I am naturally yellow toned. So Fenty Beauty does have a primer in the range which says it works best with this foundation. I didn't get that because, one, I'm on a budget, and two, it said it was mattifying, and this foundation is also mattifying. And although I can get a bit of an oily T-zone on hotter days, at the moment I'm dry as a bone. I'm mostly dry skin type, slightly combo in the summer. So I just felt like that primer wouldn't be right for me. So I've been trying to apply this foundation several different ways throughout the week, and I feel like I've come up with a combination that I like the most, although I'm still not particularly happy with it. You can see in this little demo that I've got going on right now, I found that I preferred to use a very hydrating, rich moisturiser than a primer. I felt like this foundation went on much better over it. I found that whatever primers I used, whether it was silicone or hydrating primers, the foundation just kept clinging onto any flaky patches on my face and I just looked really scaly. I think the term is lizard skin. It just looked terrible on me. So Fenty Beauty advise you to shake the bottle before use to activate, in their words, because it has very rich pigments. It is a very runny formula, but it is definitely a matte formula. As you can see when I'm applying this is too pale for me. Even my neck, it actually makes my neck look yellow, which is a first because usually my neck always looks too pale. I found the best way to apply this foundation was with a beauty blender. I mainly go towards a beauty blender anyway, especially with matte foundations, because I just find that if I use a brush, then I have more chance of like the product clinging to my dry patches. And I really didn't like using the brush for this foundation. Or however, I will say if you want a fuller coverage, then I would definitely advise using a brush. With the beauty blender, I felt like I got more like a light to medium coverage. It didn't completely cover up my blemishes. So while we're going through this little demo, on the Sephora site I noticed that it says this foundation works for sensitive, normal, dry, combo and oily skin. It gives the skin an instantly smooth, pore diffused, shine-free finish. So as a dry skin type, I tend to disagree with that. One of the problems I found with it is I feel like it looks very powdery on me. It definitely dries down to a full-on matte finish. It has a tendency to cling onto any dry patches. It has a tendency to look very powdery on my skin. It just seems to set into fine lines. It gets a little bit cakey looking. I also noticed when I tried to apply my products over this foundation, like for example, I tried to apply my concealer, with my beauty blender, it took the foundation off again, so I had to kind of apply my concealer and then go back over with a bit more foundation with a brush just to reapply the foundation where it came off. I'm not really sure why it did that, but that's just a thing that happened. I also felt like the foundation seemed to move around on me when I was applying powder products. I just didn't like the way powder products applied over it. It says here you get a smooth, pore diffused, shine-free finish. I agree that you get a shine-free finish. I don't agree that it will smooth your pores or diffuse them, because I feel like this sinks into my pores and accentuates them. It says it has a climate adaptive technology that's resistant to sweat and humidity. It won't clog pores, it's long wearing, light as air texture and undetectable on skin. Again, I would disagree. I think I don't really find it long wearing. It lasts around 4 hours on me before it begins to wear off. It's definitely not undetectable on my skin. I think from afar it looks pretty good, but you don't even need to get that up close to realise that I have cake face. So I know they say that it works best with the primer. I just feel like brands always say that in order for you to kind of buy the same products. But I would be willing to give this another chance. I have a series that I've started called Second Chance Sunday, so maybe in a month or a couple of months time I might revisit this foundation if I buy the primer and see if it works any better with that. If not, I definitely wouldn't repurchase this. I would maybe use this as a mixer foundation and just use a tiny bit to lighten some of the shades that are too dark for me. Other than that, I don't feel comfortable recommending it for drier skin. Although if you have drier skin and you found this foundation works really well for you, then just comment down below and let us all know. But things work differently for different people. I just didn't find that this worked that well for me, unfortunately. So yeah, I definitely won't be repurchasing this, although I am interested in trying other products from the line, and I am looking forward to seeing where Fenty Beauty goes from here. Okay, that's my review. Hopefully it's done in under 10 minutes. Sorry if it seems a little bit rushed and my battery is flashing at me. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time.